everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be discussing a topic that's very close to my heart, which is how I invest in myself. Now, it's taken me quite the journey and quite a number of years to get to this point in my life where I feel happy, comfortable in my own skin, and in a really good place because I have created a world that I can thrive and grow in. And that's a result of me taking steps to invest in myself. So without much further ado, I'm going to share with you the steps and the various ways in which I invest in myself. So the first way in which I invest in myself is my health. Now, health is wealth. Without health, you can have everything in the world, you have all the money in the world, but you know what? You're not going to have a quality of life. If every day you wake up and your body hurts and you're aching and you're sluggish and something's not quite right, you're not able to function. You're not able to enjoy a quality of life. You're not able to build that universe and thrive in it. So please invest in your health. And how do I invest in my health? Well, it's through fitness. So I work out 4 to 5 times a week, and I put aside a monthly budget for cardio kickboxing classes and dance classes. And I also work with a personal trainer once a week to do resistance weight training. On top of that, I do yoga at home and a lot of hiking. Now, the yoga that I practice is through following workout DVDs, and also with the hiking, that's really cheap. It doesn't really cost you much money to go hike. Just find a good spot and you're in business. So I have the cheap stuff that I do, and then I have the stuff that I actually have to pay for. And mixing and matching all these different ways of working out my body is such a good way to get to the level of fitness that I want to be at. So all in all, I don't really spend money unnecessarily. I'm very intentional with how I spend my money. So for me, fitness is number one. I tend to save on everything else, but when it comes to fitness, I have that fixed budget and I make sure that I give that money to my fitness. Through pursuing, my fitness goals, I have cultivated discipline and consistency and a tunnel vision to be in the best state that I want to be in physically, so that mentally I benefit from it too. When I feel good physically, my mental health is in a good place as well. So it's all sort of tied together. So really invest in health. That's really my number one advice. Get moving, get exercising, get your blood pumping, invest in your health. Now, the second way in which I invest in myself is through diet. Now, the food you eat is so important because it really nourishes your body. I mean, there's such a direct correlation to what you put in your body and what results you get. I've been following a plant-based gluten-free diet for the last 5 years, and I eat mostly organic. And so yeah, that little extra that I have to pay for organic produce, yes, that's where my investment comes in. I know, some of you don't believe in the whole organic thing. That's fine. We all have different opinions. For me, because my dad has cancer, so he has to eat organic. And so before that, I never really cared about, whether or not stuff was organic. But after my dad was diagnosed, we had to change his diet quite a bit. And that made me aware of the importance of eating real clean produce. So for me, following a whole foods plant-based diet means eating foods in their natural states. I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat some fruit here and there. Not so much fruit because it's hard on my digestion, but a lot of vegetables. I have salads, I love vegetable stir fries. I eat a lot of complex carbs like sweet potatoes and butternut squash. I love whole grains like brown rice. So basically, not a lot of processed foods. Once in a while, I'll have a cookie, or something sweet, because you have to live. Okay, you have to live a little. You have to enjoy your life. And for me, I'm all about balance. I have my healthy, clean eating days. And then once in a while, I'll have that piece of cake that I want to have. So the food that I eat is an investment, because if I'm eating crappy all the time, I feel it the next day. But when I feed myself with the right foods, it really gives me the energy to function and to be the best that I can be on a daily basis. So definitely for me, investing in my diet is key as well. So the next way in which I invest in myself is through taking care of my gut. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm talking about gut health, okay? Now, gut health is super important to me because gut health is related to your mental health. If you have an unhealthy gut, if it's overridden with bad bacteria, if you have leaky gut, for example, where particles of food are leaking into your bloodstream, it can cause chronic inflammation throughout your entire body, and you're susceptible to illnesses like cancer, diabetes, and poor liver function. And then it also affects your mental health. When your gut is not feeling well, it can cause depression and anxiety. So for me, it's super important for me to invest in taking care of my gut. And how do I do that? Well, I budget monthly for a really good probiotic. This is the Renew Life Ultimate Flora probiotic that I take. Super potent, really helps to inject my body with good bacteria to drive out the bad bacteria in my gut. And it really helps to give me good bowel movement in a stronger digestive system. So, I'm able to have really consistent and good bowel movements since I started this probiotic, and ultimately leads to better skin, good weight management, and overall a stronger immune system and better energy. So listen to your gut, take care of your gut, because when you take care of your gut, you're gonna have a more productive existence. You're able to think clearer. It's gonna help with any depression or anxiety that you have. I used to suffer from a lot of depression until I started taking care of my gut. And you know what? Thank you to Renew Life. They're not sponsoring me, but this has saved my life. Now, the next way in which I invest in myself is through creating a haven in my home. Now, I work a very demanding job where I have long hours outside of my home, and all I want to do after a hard days of work is to know that I have a safe space that I can go to and, feel nourished and feel taken care of and feel comforted when I'm in that space. So for me, I do invest in doing up my home the way that I love, it to look, on an aesthetic level. It pleases me. I have a lot of white in my house. I love white because it's such a pure and bright color. It lifts up my mood when I wake up. I feel excited when I get out of bed every day because I'm looking at all these things in my home and I love the decor. So for me, investing in myself means creating a sanctuary of a living space where, I feel truly happy to be in. For example, I recently spent a little bit of money getting some materials to build my desk. And I also built a coffee table. I built all those from scratch. And you know what? It feels so good to know that I made those things by myself. Yeah, they're from IKEA, but still, I built these things, and I created my own living space, and I'm proud of it. So invest in your living space, because when you have a comfortable living space, you're going to grow and you're going to thrive and you're going to feel happy to be there every day. So the last thing on my list, which is also one of the most important things on my list, is self-development. I am all about personal growth. Now, I make it a goal every day to learn something new, to add to my knowledge. And how do I do that? Well, first of all, I make it a goal every day to read an article online or watch a YouTube video or do both about a topic that really interests me. Now, I'm really interested in wellness and fitness and health, gut health, obviously, skincare, as well as practicing mindfulness and intentional living. I try to be productive most times of the day, including when I'm driving, because driving is like a very sort of autopilot activity. So I listen to podcasts when I'm driving, and I milk it for all it's worth. During the time when I'm driving, I am learning something new. Now, one of the podcasts that I'm listening to right now is called The Mindful Kind, hosted by Rachel Cable from Australia. And it's a really good podcast. I urge you guys to check it out. And it really talks about how to live intentionally, how to live mindfully and be present in the moment. And it teaches you tools on productivity, on how to tackle stress, and how to be very intentional in each moment of your life. So basically, for me, self-development and personal growth is such an important area for me to invest in. And that means giving time to reading these articles or doing research or listening to a podcast. That's the way that I invest in growing, on an emotional, on a mental level. And there's nothing more joyful to me than adding something new to the pool of knowledge that I already have. It makes me feel very nourished, very full, and excited about life in general. So get out there and create your universe. So those are the ways in which I've invested in myself. And think of it as, buying a house, and you're that house. When you buy a house, you want to up its value on the market, right? In case you want to resell it. So, you give it some love, you invest some money, you give it a better paint job, you redo the kitchen, redo the bathroom and all that. And what happens is that this house has a higher value with all the new fixtures, and it's able to sell at a higher price. So same thing. See yourself as that house. How can I better my value? And go from there. When you do that, you're creating a rich existence, and that is the path to happiness.